I'm Rashmi Mangla, working as an assistant professor for the BBA department of St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. The subject that I'll be teaching today is Human Resource Management. Now, we are doing Unit 2 of HRM. This is our fourth lecture. The topics that we'll be covering today are job analysis, purpose of job analysis, aspects of job analysis, job design, and important techniques of job design. Let's begin. Now, job analysis. Now, this is a process where we collect the information about a particular job, where we get to know about all its contents, what are the duties that have to be fulfilled in a particular job. That all we get to know from analyzing the job. Let's see the definition of job analysis. Edwin B. Filippo has defined job analysis as the process of studying and collecting information relating to the operations and responsibilities of a specific job. The immediate products of this analysis are job descriptions and job specifications. So, of these description, of this analysis, the immediate products are job description and job specification. Now, job analysis refers to the process of collecting information. When we collect the information about a particular job, that is job analysis. In other words, it refers to the anatomy of the job. Job analysis is performed upon ongoing jobs only. It contains job contents. The job which is going on that only job analysis can be performed. It contains the job contents. That is, for example, let's say what are the duties of a supervisor, or what minimum knowledge or skill or abilities are necessary to perform that particular job, or what are the requirements of a supervisor. Let's compare those with those of the supervisor in another grade. Let's say a supervisor of grade 2 and grade 1. If we compare their requirements for a particular job, so that all comes under job analysis. Now, there are certain purposes of job analysis, certain role that job analysis plays. Those purposes are recruitment and selection, that is creating a right fit between job and candidate. Now, job analysis helps in determining that what type of candidate is required for a particular job. That means एक particular काम के लिए एक candidate के पास what sort of skills, what sort of qualification, what sort of experience, what sort of emotional skills or personal skills he should have in order to carry out that job in a desired way. And the objective is to fit a right person at the right place, कि सही आदमी को सही जॉब पे असाइन किया जाए. That is the main objective of this purpose, recruitment and selection. Second is performance analysis, that is evaluation and appraisal. Now, job analysis is done to check if goals and objectives of a particular job are met or not. Whatever are the objectives of a job that we have set, those objectives or those goals are being met or not. We check it through job analysis. It also helps in deciding the performance standards, the evaluation criteria, and individuals' output. Whatever output an individual is giving, whatever standards are being set, all that we get to know or we decide from job analysis. On this basis, the overall performance of an employee is measured and he or she is appraised. So, on all these bases, we measure an employee's performance and then we give them appraisal accordingly. So, that is what performance analysis is. Then, training and development. Now, we know whenever employees are working in an organization, if they need to pick up a new task or a new project, obviously new project might involve some new skills required, and for that we provide training to our employees so that they can develop their skills. So, job analysis can be used to assess the training and development needs of employees. By doing job analysis, we can assess that whether training and development is required for a particular job or not. And the difference between the expected and actual output determines the level of training that need to be imparted to the employees. For example, we expected that let's say it's a manufacturing concern, we expected that the laborers would produce 100 products in a week, but that was our expectation. but they actually produced only 60 products. So the gap which is between those two numbers, expected and actual output, that tells us that what level of training is required to be given to the employees. And it also helps in deciding the training content, what content of training, what tools and what equipments have to be used to conduct the training and methods of training. We get to know all that from job analysis. Next is compensation management. Now, job analysis plays a vital role in deciding the pay packages and extra perks or benefits and fixed incentives of employees, all that have to be given. We can decide that on the basis of job analysis. And after all, this pay package depends on the position or job title. See, the salary basically depends on what? On the position where you are working. Obviously, a salary of a watchman of a bank and a salary of a manager of a bank, they cannot be same, because their remuneration depends on their job title, on the level of duties that they perform, on the responsibilities which are involved in their job. So all these things decide the pay package of a particular job. And the process guides, the whole process guides the HR managers in deciding the worth of an employee for a particular job opening. That means for a particular vacancy, whether an employee who has come up for the interview, he is worth or not, we get to know through the whole process of job analysis. Then last role that job analysis plays is job designing and redesigning. Now, the main purpose of job analysis is to streamline the human efforts and get the best possible output. That means human efforts should be applied in such a way that we get the best output, maximum output we attain. So it helps in designing and redesigning. And not only that, it also helps in enriching, evaluating and also cutting back the extra added responsibilities in a particular job. Now, why this is done? This is done to enhance the employee satisfaction while increasing human output, so that employee satisfaction is also increased. And when employee will be satisfied, obviously he'll work happily, he'll work more, and ultimately the output will also be increased. So job analysis is one of the most important functions that an HR manager or of the HR department. Now, not only this purpose, but job analysis has got two major aspects. Let's see what those are. The two major aspects of job analysis are job description and job specification. We'll see them in detail one by one. Now, when we talk about first one, that is job description. Job description is a functional description of the contents, what the job entails. See, in a job, whatever contents are there, that means what activities, what duties, what work needs to be done in a particular job, all that is written in job description. Everything is mentioned in the contents. So it is a narration of the contents of a job. It is a description of the activities and duties to be performed in a job, the relationship of the job with other jobs, the equipment and tools involved, the nature of supervision, working condition and hazards of the job, and so on. So all these things are included in job description. Thus, job description, what does it do? It differentiates one job from the other, because obviously every job has got a different duty to be performed, has got a different task to be completed. So the job description will be different. One or two points might be same, but the whole description cannot be exactly same for two different kinds of jobs. So in overall, job description is a written statement of what a job holder does, how it is done and why it is done. So all these things are mentioned in job description. And not only this, the main purpose that job description serves is grading and classification of jobs, placement and orientation of new employees, outlining career path, developing work standards, counseling of employees and delimitation of authority. All these are the purposes which job description plays. Then next is job specification. Now, just now we studied while job description focuses on the job, but job specification focuses on the person, that is the job holder. Job specification mainly focuses on the employee, on the job holder, the one who is working. Job specification is a statement of the minimum level of qualification. Job specification is a statement where minimum qualification, skill, physical and other abilities, experience, judgment and attributes required for performing job effectively are mentioned. Where all these things are mentioned, that statement is known as job specification. In other words, we can say that it is a statement of the minimum acceptable qualifications that an incumbent must possess. That is the minimum qualification that an that a person who's coming for a particular job, who's coming to apply for a particular job, he should possess. So those minimum qualifications are mentioned in job specification. And job specification specifies also the physical, the psychological, personal, social and behavioral characteristics of the job holders. All those things are also specified in job specification. Now, just like job description, there are some usages of job specification also. For example, personal planning, performance appraisal, hiring, training and development, job evaluation and compensation, health and safety, employee discipline, work scheduling, career planning. All these are the usages of job specification, where job specification can be used. Now, these were the two aspects of job analysis that we studied. Now we'll come to the second main topic, which is job design. Now when we talk about job design is basically the process of work arrangement which is mainly aimed at reducing the job dissatisfaction. That work should be arranged in such a way that it reduces the dissatisfaction of the employees, so that they do not feel isolated with the monotonous work that they perform. Let's see the definition of job design. According to Michael Armstrong, job design is the process of deciding on the contents of a job in terms of its duties and responsibilities, on the methods to be used in carrying out the job, in terms of techniques, systems and procedures, and on the relationships that should exist between the job holder and his superior subordinates and colleagues. So it is a process where the contents are decided, where the duties, responsibilities and the methods which have to be used, all those things are decided, whatever techniques, whatever procedure are to be required, and most importantly that there should be a relationship between the job holder and the subordinate and the colleagues. That is what all deals with job design. Now let's see the basic concept of job design. Job design is the process of work arrangement or rearrangement aimed at reducing or overcoming job dissatisfaction. As I told you, that its main aim is to reduce job dissatisfaction, that people should be happy with their job, they should be satisfied in working, they should not be unhappy or dissatisfied with their work, and also aimed at reducing employee alienation arising from repetitive and mechanistic tasks. Now whatever mechanistic task or whatever repetitive, monotonous work that they are doing, when you do same kind of job every day, you feel bored, you feel alienated, isolated. So in order to reduce that, job design is made. Now through job design, organizations try to raise productivity levels. Through job design, organizations try to increase their level of productivity. How? By offering non-monetary rewards such as greater satisfaction from a sense of personal achievement in a meeting, the increased challenge and responsibilities of one's work. That maybe challenge has been increased in the organization. See, when you have a competitive team, to work, that means some person is doing 10, like you are being assigned certain tasks each day. For example, you have been told to make 5 PPTs each day and you have a member of 4 people, If somebody is making 6, you get motivated that he has made 6, I can also make one more extra. So a sense of challenge is initiated between the employees so that they get motivated to produce more, and when they will produce more, obviously the productivity level will increase, and that sense of alienation will also gradually decrease. When you are more engrossed in work, you feel less bored because you don't have time to think about all that. Now, job designing is the process which involves the following steps. Deciding the contents of the job. In job designing, first step is we decide the contents of the job, what all things are included in the job. Then deciding methods and processes to carry out the job, what method or what process is required to fulfill the job, to carry out the job, we see that. Third, make optimized use of job or work time. We have to use our time, we have to utilize our time optimally so that no time should be wasted. Why? Because time is basically very precious. Time cannot be, time once gone, can we earn it? No, we cannot earn it back. So from the initial stage itself, we need to be efficient in utilizing our time. We need to save our time, and we have to make efficient use of it. So we have to make optimized use of the work time or working hours. Then avoiding manual tasks if it can be handled by machines or automated items. So if something can be carried on by the machine, like it can be done with a machine or any other tool, so we will avoid manual tasks. That is the process of job design. The last, synchronization of work and no conflict with other jobs. Your work should be well synchronized and you should have no conflict with other jobs. Maybe there is one process which is being carried out in one particular job and the same process has to be carried out in some other job. So your timing should be flexible enough that you do not have a conflict or the things do not mingle up. So we need to synchronize the work. These are the process of job design. Now there are some techniques of job design that we'll see. Those techniques are the important techniques of job design. First one is work simplification. Now under this method, the job is simplified by breaking it down into small subparts. Let's say a big task has been given to you. So when you see a big task, that, like for example, when you just begin with the session of college, your task is you have to finish the whole semester syllabus. But that semester syllabus is broken down into different units, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, making it easier for you to study and understand the concepts. So in the similar way, the job is also simplified by breaking it down into small subparts, and then each part of the job is assigned to a worker, and each part is assigned to one worker who does the same task over and over again. एक काम एक वर्कर को दिया जाता है and he keeps on doing it again. And why we give it to the same worker? Because when you have done a work once, you gain efficiency in it. You know how to do it. So when you do it the next time, you will take less time and your less effort will be used over there. So that's why we prefer giving the same work to the same person again and again. Then next technique is job rotation. Now job rotation means moving the employees from one job to the other without any change. The job is not being changed, but we are just shifting the employees. So then why job rotation is done? In order to avoid boredom. So one solution to boredom as seen in work simplification is job rotation. Job rotation implies the moving of employees from job to job without any change in the job. Actually उनके job में कोई change नहीं है, but they are just, their places are being shifted. So for example, in case of job rotation, an employee performs different jobs. You are performing different job but of the same nature. Same nature as in the work for which you have been hired. वैसा ही काम है, but the task that has been given is little different. That's it. So why do we do so? In order to avoid boredom. So that is an advantage of job rotation, that it removes boredom, it broadens employees' knowledge and skill. Your knowledge is enhanced and employees become competent in several jobs rather than only one. आपको और काम भी करने आ जाते हैं in spite of just knowing only one task. Then next technique is job enlargement. Now job enlargement involves enlarging the work. That means we are adding more tasks to a particular job. Job enlargement involves adding more tasks to a particular job. This is a horizontal expansion in a job. The job is being horizontally expanded. That means maybe earlier you were being given 4 tasks to be done. Now you are being given 6 tasks. 2 more new tasks have been added. So when the task has been added, your job is enlarged. Job expands. So your scope is expand and you are being given variety of tasks to the job holder. The last one, the last technique is job enrichment. Job enrichment involves adding motivating factors to a job. Such factors are added so that the employees get motivated to work. Thus, job enrichment is a vertical expansion. Enlargement is a horizontal expansion. Enrichment is a vertical expansion of a job by adding more responsibility and freedom to do it. You get more responsibility for the work and you get more freedom to do it. That means you can do it the way you want to. So it is basically that type of improvement in the context of job which may give a work more of a challenge or more of a complete task, or where more responsibility is added, more opportunities for growth are created. So all these things come under job enrichment. These were all the techniques of job design that we studied. This was the whole concept of job analysis and job design that we had to cover. You can jot down all the key points which I had shown in the entire clip. Now there are certain questions that have to be done. Explain job analysis and its purpose. Explain in detail the important aspects of job analysis. Explain job design and its process. State the important techniques of job design. These questions you have to do, children. Stay tuned for the upcoming lecture for Unit 2. Thank you.